We're here today in Paris at Andalusian, a specialist conservation laboratory, where we're going to be examining a very unique painting. This will be the first time in its 400-year history that we'll be able to see it by infrared imaging. Infrared imaging allows us to see beneath the upper surfaces of the paint. The infrared will be absorbed by certain elements and reflected back to us by others. And this allows us to create an image of what's going on under the surface, which means that we can recreate the history of the painting from the inside out. Van Dyck was one of the most outstanding painters and the most sought-after portrait artists of the first half of the 17th century. He's born in Antwerp and he trains originally under Sir Peter Paul Rubens. This is painted in 1621, and it's possible actually that this is a portrait of the horse that Rubens gifted to Van Dyck. And what you can see in this painting of the horse is this wonderful Rubensian sense of movement. He's using the grey ground here to build up the body of the horse, and then you've got these wonderful swift dark brown brushes that bring in his limbs into his torso, so you can feel the movement and the passion of the artist coming through in the paint. Andalusian horses were the horses of kings, and what this was originally conceived as was a preparatory work which went on to become Van Dyck's posthumous portrait of Charles V on horseback, which is in the Uffizi in Florence. In 2000, the painting was de-lined, and what was then discovered was absolutely extraordinary and was completely unexpected. Another work was discovered on its reverse. This is an incredibly important art historical discovery because this is the only landscape by Van Dyck that we know of in existence today. And it's wonderful. You can see these trees coming through here, the rocky bank that comes down, and there is actually the sketch of a small dog who's drinking in the pool. And this actually relates quite closely, the same tree motif, to a painting that is now currently in the Louvre. It's a double portrait of a man and his son, which has this landscape in the background.
On aperçoit une trace, un tracé.
So we now have the infrared imaging, and there are a couple of very exciting things that we can see on it. Underneath the horse here, we can see the traces of the underlying drawing of a stirrup. So this is where the rider's foot would have been here on the stirrup. There would have been another bit of material that would have come up here. So when the horse's saddle was put round its middle, you've got the underlying bit of material that would protect its stomach. Again, what we can see here in this image is that there once was a saddle that came up like this, and you can see very clearly in the IR the saddle coming down into the stirrup, so the horse would have been ready to take his rider. So what this infrared imaging tells us is that the painting that we see today is not exactly the painting that Van Dyck originally conceived of. When he first painted it, the horse would have had his saddle, the stirrup coming down, ready to receive Charles V as his rider. And what the infrared has allowed us to do is to pierce through today's surface to look at the secrets that are hidden underneath.